Hello everybody and welcome to another Tomb Tuesday. It is April 19th, 2022. Let's go over the numbers real quick. Right now, Tomb sitting at 119, FTMpad 101.03, TSHARE sitting at 52.35 USD or 44.56 FTM, TVL sitting at 601 million. Now remember, like always in these Tomb Tuesdays, you can see the article at Medium. Let's take a look at that real quick. Here we are on Medium. You can see it is April 19, 2022 with Tomb Tuesday update in all of its glory. You are free to take a look at this if it's easier to read there on Medium. If not, remember you can always go to Telegram. You'll see it in the pinned section up top. You can go in Discord and you can see it in the announcements. But again, if you want to look at the video right here as we cover it together, you are in the right place. Let's go to the announcements now. All right, Harry starts this announcement with an Easter print. Easter was this past Sunday, and I do hope that everybody celebrated and had a great time with their friends and family. Now, the other family, your Tomb family, all came together. They restored the peg. They brought it up, pushed for TWAP, and yes, we did have a full print. So he wants to remind everybody that the community gets stronger and stronger every single day. And now we move on to business. As always, we have the section down here that goes over the clarification of timelines from super short term to long term and everything in between. Let's get into the announcements. We have a lot to unpack in this particular Tomb Tuesday. Stability in the middle of volatility. So FTM experienced a 37% drop over the course of the last 7 days. However, even with that 37% drop, the peg was unbelievably strong. And that's something that he wants to convey right here, that, you know, stability once again being proven to be this strong, especially during market downturns, during times of, geopolitical uncertainties. During this time, having Zen phases, even prints during those times is really something very incredible. And we'll go to a graphic in just 1 second to show that. While we're talking about stability in the middle of volatility, Zen phases. So Zen phases are actually very healthy for Tomb. These Zen phases allow investors to rebalance their portfolios, all while discovering new and creative ways to utilize Tomb. So just because you have Zen and it's not a print or it's not a full print, this is okay. You cannot print all the time. You need a place to put that newly minted Tomb. So all of that stuff is working together, and just showing that kind of stability in that type of volatility is really, really impressive. So the fact that we experience prints during these times is a testament to the fact that demand for Tomb is growing even during times of volatility and uncertainty. One thing is for certain: Tomb is in it for the long haul. Now let's take a look at those two graphics right here. We'll blow these up so that you can see what they look like. This is stability during wild market conditions. The white line up above is showing the peg, Tomb FTM, while FTM, you can see down here is in blue, had a massive downward turn. So even though FTM was, violently moving downward, 37% over the course of 17 days, we did just have 2 decent days in a row. So we'll see if that's some type of local reversal. But even with that, look how strong the peg was, remaining consistent, 0.97, 0.98, 0.99 Zen. You're at 1 to 101, and then you're printing above 101 TWAP over the course of 6 hours of that epoch. So pretty important stuff here. This is really amazing when you can visually see what it looks like. Now, this is what happened during that course. April 2nd is when we had that big drop. So we had a big, massive drop in Phantom, and then it continued to go down, for an additional 16 days after that big first day. But you can see this right here. Now, this golden line right here, this is showing you peg, 1 to 1, Tomb equals Phantom. And the green line above, this is showing you 101. And this is all the times you are up over 101. So really, really, really impressive. This is a significant, just shy of 3-week period. Really some amazing stuff. All right, let's get back into the announcement. After the BRRR is before the BRRR. So we talked about this not that long ago. It was either last Tuesday or the Tuesday before, but This statement is so important because it's a constant reminder that everything we do has an effect further down the road. We embarked on this extensive effort to educate our community and how to best engage with our protocol. We are building a strategies page that will help illustrate the best methods to stake yield across the main LPs we have created, balancing APR against a potential for and permanent loss. Compound your returns either manually or via an auto compounder, and claim your rewards to take profit. Yes, there are more efficient methods to take profit and minimize the impact on the peg. Now, speaking about that, we will be going into talking very, very, very briefly about Zaps, but that is something that they are working on, and it's something that we have a very small update just to mention that, they are still coming. Now, Harry goes on to say, you wouldn't believe how many people he talked to just did not know that what they were doing, how they were moving their assets, if they were going to buy TSHARE with their TOMB. There's a good way to do it that helps the protocol, and then there's a bad way to do it that really hurts the protocol. And when you actively have a community trying to band together and work on the protocol, keep it healthy, keep it happy, then these little things, they add up. So because of that, education becomes paramount. Teaching people the good ways, the healthy ways to work with the protocol. Telling them that some methods that they use will have a negative impact on the peg. And then, of course, they're more than willing to do it the other way. So this just goes on to talk about that. And as a reminder, when you're looking to buy TOMB, the very best method is by using FTM on Spooky. You can even help to protect the peg by setting limit orders above key levels like 101 or 10, which is the peg. When these limit orders are done correctly, they help to absorb the sells that come into the market. All right, and we'll take a look at this one right here. Best way to swap your tokens. So let's pull that graphic up right here. And again, this is going TOMB to MAI and then MAI to whatever it is you're looking to do. Right, and then the other way around, if you're looking to buy TOMB, right, the best way to help the protocol is to use FTM to buy TOMB, and you want to do that on Spooky. Up above, you want to do this on TombSwap. So you're using both dexes there, but you're helping the protocol in the same way, which is absolutely fantastic. All right, that'll wrap it up for this section. For After the BRRR is Before the BRRR. Let's move on. The road to 1 billion TOMB. This is huge. Now, I think when you see the graphic I'm about to show you, it'll make it very easy to understand whereabouts we are at TOMB, right? Currently, the circulation supply is about 312 million. This is the road to 1 billion, and that's only one of many targets. So everyone loves a good print, and why wouldn't they? The printer going BRRR is always a great feeling, but does everyone know why we need to print so much? Well, our plans of taking TOMB to the next level involve reaching a supply of TOMB with sufficient liquidity. This level of liquidity is necessary for TOMB to expand its utility beyond its current use case as one of the best yielding instruments on the blockchain. Now, to do so, our first major target is 1 billion TOMB, and a longer term target that reaches 2 billion and then, even more after that. We currently have a TOMB circulation supply of only 312 million. This means we're less than 1/3 of the way to 1 billion and a fraction of the way to 2 billion. So strap in tight because we're going to need an awful lot of BRRRRs to reach that first target. Now, the bottom line is that we need to print a sufficient amount of TOMB so that TOMB can have meaningful utility. This also leads us to the things that you can do with TOMB. And to answer that question, there is a lot. So let's pull up this graphic over here so you have a better idea on where we're at. This is current TOMB supply right here. 311, 312, 313 million. We are right about in this zone. We just had another print. We're looking to have a full print potentially in this next epoch. The TWAP is looking very good, but targeted TOMB supply 1 billion, and we are here. So we have a long, long, long way to go, and that's target 1. Target 2, 2 billion. For things like TombChain, for things like Felix, for things like Life, You want deep liquidity. It's very, very, very important to have those things. Also in this graphic, you'll see TSHARE supply status. Circulating TSHARE supply right here, we're showing about 59.5 thousand on the market. Total TSHARE supply at 70,000. All right, let's head over back to our announcements and we can move on from here. Now, with all the things you could do, we have that overview that's in Telegram, that's in Discord. We had a link to it in the last Tomb Tuesday, but that's the graphic that shows you the full overview of all of the many things that you could do with Tomb on TombSwap and with your spooky LPs as well. Update on TSHARE emission strategy. So the full supply of TSHARE will be emitted in June. This will be the very last of the 59,500 TSHARE that started its 12-month schedule last June. We can all agree that the ideas in place last June and the vision for the entire Tomb ecosystem has evolved since I took over in September of last year. The addition of TombSwap, Felix, Life, and Tomb Chain all fall under the Tomb ecosystem, and I aim to make them the most beneficial and useful protocols in all of DeFi. So now they're working out their final iteration. This just goes on to say that they're working out the final iteration of their plans. They're getting everything together. It says right here, I take a great deal of time with these matters as they are never to be taken lightly and require endless hours of thought and careful consideration. Everything that I do for Tomb is to the benefit of the Tomb community and to bring value to Tomb and the entire ecosystem for years to come. So this just goes on to show that it's a huge undertaking. It's a massive project in order to take a look at what happens next. And this is a thought that's been going on for months. This is not something that's only talked about just now. So you could just tell how careful consideration needs to be taken, and everything that will be done will be the absolute best thing that could happen to Tomb. And we'll leave it at that for TSHARE emission strategy. Let's move on because we do still have some more stuff to cover here. Okay, update on Tomb Chain. This is a massive announcement. Tomb Chain is now on mainnet. So for those who don't understand, we'll do a very brief 20-second what is testnet, what is mainnet. Testnet is your sandbox. I mean, that's for the developers to play around. There's no cost. You use tokens that have absolutely no value. The idea is you could take risks, you can experiment, you can develop the chain. All of these things happen on testnet. They need to happen on testnet. So you get a much better idea. You can get all of your efficiencies out of the way. You can solve a majority of your problems. And you have, no way are you affecting the mainnet. You have your own Genesis block. You're running test after test after test. That is your testnet. When you move to mainnet, that's huge. Because when you move to mainnet, that means that you've gone through all of your models and you've found the most efficient way to operate that blockchain. And that is what this announcement is right here. Tomb as gas is one of the most exciting things to happen to Tomb. Our Tomb chain has been in the works for months on end, and last week we announced our Layer 2 Tomb chain was in alpha testing. Today, I would like to announce that we have entered mainnet. This is huge. All right, now this opens up the door for us to ramp up the testing, solve any small issues that arise on the mainnet, because there are differences between testnet and mainnet, right? And this is a huge moment for our Tomb chain, and it brings us one step closer to our target goals. Tomb chain will usher in a new era of Tomb and one that will stand the test of time. Some things that will be happening on Tomb chain, and this is absolutely not a full list, staking Tomb on Tomb chain, right? Tomb as gas on Tomb chain. Use cases that require the use of Tomb. So think about that. dApps getting built on top of an L2 that will then run to the L1 on the Phantom Opera network, right, can be required to use Tomb. So think about use cases that could be coming for Tomb. That's huge. It's a game changer. And it says right here, this will be a game changer. And I couldn't be happier with the early testing and development results so far. Stay tuned for more updates and progress reports on this very important piece of the larger Tomb ecosystem. So crazy stuff happening over there. And of course, this is the landing page, tombchain.com. So you can come over here and take a look at the landing page and just check it out for yourself. Let's try to wrap this up. We have two more sections to get to here. Update on TombSwap. So I mentioned briefly earlier about Zaps, so we'll cover one graphic in just 1 second. But TombSwap, Zaps, staking strategies, and new LPs. The LP that we spoke about last week, that is the TSHARE BTC-LP. You can see that on Deck Screener. We'll take a look at that in just 1 second. But we are focused on the super short term. Super short term is days, weeks, less than a month. So in that ballpark, this is a continuation from last week. So they are into this. They are working on that, and they are keeping this on the super short term timeline. We're making significant progress and key tests are being executed. As we announced last week, we will launch a new TSHARE BTC-LP. These are exciting times, and our DEX is only getting larger and larger with deeper and deeper liquidity. Now, to go one step further, last Thursday, we hit a new 24-hour record in volume on TombSwap, 67,315,792 in a 24-hour period. That is pretty incredible. All my thanks go to you, as you are the reason these pieces of the Tomb ecosystem are a success. We are currently on the 7th day above 200 million in liquidity, so another milestone right there. Now, please note, Tomb to TSHARE routing on SpookySwap has a negative impact on the peg. This is something that we just talked about. To reduce the impact, please use Tomb to my to TSHARE if you're looking to accumulate. And as usual, for any bugs, any things that are coming up, those fixes are all being processed. They have a checklist that they're working off of, and they are getting all those things done. So let's talk about this Zap real quick. You can see this right here. Zap Tomb to USDC. First, it swaps Tomb to my on TombSwap, which creates the least harm to the peg, right? But then it's going to get you from my to USDC using Curve. So this is just one of those things that will be coming up. This is something that they're working on in the background. And when it's launched, you'll be able to go from Tomb to USDC. Not only that, you'll be able to do that and creating the less of two evils when you do go to sell your Tomb, if you're going to take profits, so on and so forth. This is the TSHARE BTC or BTC TSHARE LP. This is the 4-hour chart you can see on Deck Screener. So you can see, history is just started from last week right here. So last Tuesday on the 12th, and then we just have some action over here. So again, just something to look at. And this is info.swap.tomb, where you can see this node right here, 67,315,000. This next highest over here was 65,123,000, and just yesterday, 57,205,000. Absolutely incredible volume over here. Liquidity right now is sitting at 228 million. So big time numbers, really big time numbers over there, and that is pretty incredible stuff. All right, so moving on to the very last thing two more things that we have here. Felix Exchange. So Felix remains on track for Q2 2022 launch. Last week, we announced that Tomb will be the primary utility token for Felix, much like BNB is to Binance, FTT is to FTX. Felix will allow you to hold Tomb and enjoy significant trading discounts on the Felix Exchange. This is a significant and meaningful use case for Tomb and will ensure its utility will benefit both users of Felix and the broader Tomb community. Now, Fanny will move into a more suitable role as they have many plans for a store and a lot of fun and exciting things that can happen with the cat versus dog storyline. And all that stuff is also being worked on in the background, and you'll get updates when things are ready to be released. One last thing, Tomb and Based. Our partnership with Base Finance continues to grow stronger. For the latest on Based, you could check out their Base Friday updates. And here's the last one here. If you're on Discord, you'll have a link over here. Or if you're on Medium, you'll have a link over here. But right now, we'll take a look at that and see what it looks like. And here's Base Friday on Medium. Again, they do it on Friday, so April 15th. So you do have another 3 days to see the newest Base Friday update. But again, it's beautiful. The layout's nice. Everything's on Medium over here. And you know, they also do post this in their Discord. You know, there's other ways to get to this than Medium. But it is right here. Beautiful graphics. Everything looks very, very, very nice. All right, and to cap off this Tomb Tuesday announcement, we continue to build, educate, and work tirelessly to ensure everything we do is in the best interest of our protocol and our community. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Cheers to many more prints ahead. Happy Tomb Tuesday. Keep calm and tomb on.